Welcome to the Boating Business Success podcast, where we talk about expert insights from industry professionals that have been successful in the boating industry. We talk about success stories from them, from their experience, and we talk about exclusive strategies to sell more boats. Today, I'm humbled and I'm very honored to have Estephanie Herrera, my friend, professional from the boating industry, president from EH2O. Stephanie, you started at Marine Max at 18 years old. You know the boating business throughout, and I am very excited to hear your strategies, your stories, and your experience. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I am very honored to be here. And I look forward to sharing my story and hopefully empower others, your viewers, that are interested in learning a little bit more about me and that it can help them grow their business as your mission is. Thank you very much.
Love it. All right, so let's start just with an introduction of what you do right now with EH2O.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I have been blessed to be working in the boating industry my entire adulthood. I started at a major boating industry company, Marine Max, and I started with them at the age of 18. Um, a lot. It's been now close to 20 years since then. And to answer your specific question, I do have my own business now, which is called EH2O Marine Business Solutions. And I specialize in helping marine dealers, boat dealerships improve their closing operations, which we know them to be referred to as the finance department or F&I department. And the way that I do that is through personalized and customized training, and that is based off marine specific best practices. And my company offers services that include in person visits, assessments, monthly calls, monthly newsletter, personalized training plans, which sometimes meet with individuals at the dealership multiple times a week, one time a week, once a month. And through all of the training, there is also a lot of performance reviews along the way, because obviously it is very important to make sure that we show growth and we show improvement along the way from day one. And because I've been a leader in the industry, or have become a leader in the industry with 20 years of experience, I aim to help with overall business processes, increasing profits, increasing revenue, and all along making sure that we're doing everything compliantly, specifically in closing operations. So that's a little bit about what EH2O's mission is.
How did EH2O start?
Well, it actually started as a side hustle. I had resigned from a job that I was with for a very long time, and I decided to take some time off of work. So I jokingly say it was my temporary retirement. And it was, it was a time where I was trying to decide what my next step was going to be in my career. During that time, which was a time I would say 4 to 6 months, I focused on finishing up school. I had enrolled in a master's program, and my priority was to graduate from grad school. And during grad school, I learned a lot about entrepreneurship. I was taking incredible leadership courses that I learned so much from professors with a lot of knowledge, experience, and successful businesses. Also, other students that, we worked and collaborated on very cool projects together, which one of them was to create your own business. And while I was in school, I was still getting a lot of calls for help, from past coworkers or others in the industry, that maybe a broker who, is great at offering vessels, at being able to secure that boat or that sale for their customers. They don't like the paperwork aspect of the process.
Yeah.
They would call me and say, "Hey, do you mind doing the paperwork for me?" I'm like, "Sure." or I would have a friend who maybe was promoted to a closing agent, or how we'll refer to them in the business, in the boating industry, as a business manager. And maybe they did not have a person that was able to help them with coaching and training or how to do the role. They would ask me for assistance. So it just became something that I love to do. I've always loved to help. I've always loved to share knowledge. And even if I'm also a person that if I don't know something, I'm the first to ask for assistance. So I started playing with my templates that I learned to build in my master's program, and started charging people for my services. And next thing you
For
know,
me.
even when I joined another team in the boating industry, I started working for a privately owned company. I was still being called to help one way or another, and I just realized that there is a need for this in our industry. There are others that maybe offer what I do, but maybe, and they're great at it, they're successful at it, but maybe they don't know the marine space as well because they've never sat in the business manager chair. So I feel like there was a niche that I filled, and I'm great at it, and I love it, and now it's become my full-time job.
That's amazing. Those are the best types of businesses, in my opinion, at least, when
Hmm.
it just happens naturally, because
Yes.
it's meant to be.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
what were the different positions that you worked on, and then how did you develop all the relationships that you had, all the businesses that were asking for your help? How did all of that come together?
Yeah, so I have not always worked in the closing operations of the business in the industry. I actually, I'm very proud to say I started from the bottom and worked my way up. When I first started in the boating industry, my primary role was receptionist, and back then I still had a little bit of a thick accent. I am bilingual. Spanish is my first language. So it was someone that started just like that rap song that Drake says, started from the bottom and worked my way up.
Yeah,
And I did hold positions such as title clerk. Titling and registration of vessels was actually one of my first introductions into the closing operations of the business. Um, I was then assigned with closing all brokerage transactions. Then I was given the opportunity to start assisting with those finance transactions under 30 feet. There was even a time where my sole job was to make boat names and install them on vessels.
so
I've
cool.
also worked, HR, a lot of administrative positions, which I enjoyed. Um, I grew a lot in the business office right after or during the recession, actually. There were limited amount of individuals in the store. And though it was a very challenging time for everyone that was in the boating industry and in our world, I now see it as a blessing in disguise because we had a sale, someone had to figure out how to get it closed, and that person became me. So I accidentally fell into the business manager role. I was an assistant for a long time, and then I was given the opportunity to be a primary business manager for a store back in 2014. And that's when I started doing the closing. During my business manager history, I was still holding other roles, but my primary focus was being a business manager, closing boat sales. And I did that till I was doing that full time until 2020, early 2021. And then EH2O was born.
Amazing.
And to answer the second part of your question, I mean, obviously, being in the industry for so long, you naturally build a network. You naturally meet people. I feel like one of the things that I enjoy most about where I am today is that there are individuals that maybe I worked with 10 years ago. And now we're getting to work together again. But I also think that it's not just about having a network of ex coworkers or leaders in the industry, it's also customers. And probably 40% of my business comes from customers that maybe they remember the type of customer service I offered to them in the past, and they still come to me for assistance. And I feel like I am a very genuine person. I'm not cookie cutter. I am very real, and I see the people for who they are. I take the time to learn how it is that they would like to navigate something as important as a transaction. And I personalize my approach to exactly what it is that they need. And I think that that is one of the reasons why I've been successful in having the family that surrounds me in the industry.
Love it. And so we talked about how EH2O was born, your experience. Now, what are the main problems that you solve for your prospects and customers? What are their main pains that they have when they contact you?
I feel like you don't know what you don't know. That's a very big statement. And there are individuals, there are people that they'd rather just not just try to figure it out on their own, and try to get to that prize at the end as quickly as possible. And there are people that rather do things right. They want to make sure that they dot the I's and they cross the T's. And this is a role that being a closing agent is something that anyone can do, but I feel like you do have to have a particular personality, a particular understanding, a genuine approach, and be able to juggle different personalities, different people at the same time. And I think that sometimes one of the things that I see, and this is from my perspective, that I see where we might be failing in the industry is that we sometimes become robotic and numb to a moment that is supposed to be very exciting for a customer. And customers just they don't like that. I mean, that's not the type of customer service that I would want, no matter what it is that I'm purchasing, whether it's a boat, a vehicle, a purse, etc.
Yeah,
So I feel like, the opportunities that are presented to me, it's a blessing that I basically get to pick and choose who I feel is the right fit. Is there a good partnership opportunity here? And for the most part, those that we move forward with a partnership, it's because they want to make sure that they are executing the best customer service for their customers and are doing things right from beginning to end. As you know, in the closing operations, it's not just about the customer, it's also about making sure that we're doing things right based on our partnership with our lenders or our insurance agents, our extended protection companies, our team, our service departments, our sales staff. And I think that we have to make sure that we are doing everything from a good place with everyone that's involved in the entire transaction.
love it. Yeah, there's a lot of parts moving together, right?
Yeah, which is actually also one of the things that I enjoy most about the role. Yes, right now my primary focus is to help train and coach dealers to be able to, handle a closing from beginning to end on their own. But I still do act as a closing agent for a lot of dealers that maybe we have not recruited someone full time or they're not fully ready to bring the services in house. And one of the things that I enjoy most about being a business manager is being the middle person, just seeing everything come together at the end, and then the delivery go be the most happiest day for the customer, not only for the customer, but myself and my team as well.
Hmm, that's amazing. And so, what is your process when someone contacts you? As I see it right now, you're like a consultant also. Like you're helping, you're present in person there, and you're also with your positive energy and a smile and helping. So how does that process look like from start to finish when you have your happy customer?
Yeah. So when we first started this call, I mentioned that it's personalized per dealership, per customer. My customers are also not only dealerships, they might be a bank, or it might be a boater who is trying to purchase a boat on their own, a private sale. So let's talk a little bit about what I do if a dealership comes to me for assistance. Before we talk about any type of topics that we're going to be covering, the dealership, let's say their goal is we want to go ahead and have a business manager in house. And maybe they still want to partner with their F&I broker, maybe they don't. But either way, they're going to promote someone internally to be a business manager, or maybe they don't have a business manager and they need my assistance recruiting one. One of the first things that I like to do is have a call, schedule a consultation, just to get a little bit more details on what it is their end goal is. And then I like to perform a very thorough assessment of the dealership. I feel like the most effective way to be able to do that is to visit the dealership in person. So I do book a visit to their location, their dealerships, and some companies have multiple stores, and I try to visit all of them um, in a specific time frame. And doing my visit, I perform a very thorough assessment, probably close to 10 pages of different questions that I like to ask. It being physically at the boat dealership gives me the opportunity to make observations. Though the primary person that we're going to be coaching and training is going to be that closing agent, the business manager, the finance manager, it is also very important to speak with the dealer principals, speak to the sales professionals, and make sure that we're all on the same page so that then I can come back home and build a coaching plan. Some coaching plans may be as little as 8 weeks, others may go through 3 months, others, I still have dealers that work with me and they've been working with me for a couple of years now. So from there, I pick specific topics that we should make a priority to get the party started, to start developing the department. And during those coachings, they may be, virtual 1 hour calls, a couple of hour calls. We do a lot of role playing. There's a lot of demonstrations that I perform just to show them how to properly handle a closing from beginning to end. There's a lot of templates shared. There's a lot of networking. There's a lot of contacts that I share with them, but every dealer looks different. As you can see, everyone is going to have different priorities, different needs, and I cater to that. If it's a broker contacting me, let's say it's a boat broker, they're independent, I assist them with all aspects of the paperwork, including the titling and registration of the vessel. And that also goes for any customers that are not working with a broker. Maybe they're just handling the selling or the purchasing of the boat on their own, and they would like an agent to make sure that everything goes ethically, compliantly, and as smoothly as possible. And I assist with that as well. So I know that was a lot, but I hope it gives you a pretty good view of all of the services that I'm able to offer.
Yeah.
And just throwing it out there too, I went through the steps to become a certified on remote online notary. So me being a consultant and being able to service a lot of different states in the US, including Puerto Rico, I can't be in all places at once. So with certain states allowing electronic signatures, etc., and making sure that we are confirming and verifying identity of those that are signing, being a remote online notary has also helped me be able to run my business very smoothly as well.
Love it. So basically, you help people, customers, and then brokers and dealers to finalize the purchase, the boat buying process in the
Hmm.
happiest and best way possible, right? Is that
Yeah, and not only finalize it, but start it, you know? So again, it's not just about I see in our industry we do have individuals or consultants that maybe specialize in, hey, I am an expert in extended protections, or I'm an expert in insurance, or hey, I am a bank that can help you secure financing for your customer. But where I felt that there was a need was there isn't anyone who's really offering training from beginning to end. You know, they're specializing in a specific segment of what it means to run a closing department, but they're not really there to help from beginning to end. And I
hmm,
think that I've just been blessed with the experience from being in a publicly traded company and working for a privately owned company in different areas of the state. And I think that there are a lot of factors that we have to remember along the way. And I just like to check every single box before we get to the end of that transaction.
got it? And so, what are the ideal steps for an ideal closing, beginning to end?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, for the closing department, their most important customer is the sales professional. You know, the sales professional, they have a customer, they are interested in a vessel, and they do get that commitment. The business manager, the closing agent should be introduced to the customer as soon as possible. That is step number one. They should be provided with the opportunity to get to know the customer, to review some paperwork, you know, talk about payment options, having the opportunity to offer insurance, and really give the business manager an opportunity to share with the customer what the rest of the transaction is going to look like. So let's say they meet, they go through insurance, they go through how they plan on paying for the vessel, what is the best method to pay for the vessel. They want to finance a portion of their boat. Here's what that may look like. Let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into what the customer's financials look like and their credit profile look like. The business manager be given the opportunity to review what lenders they have that may be able to offer the best option for the customer. They work on securing that. Then they present options to the customer. The customer agrees to the terms. They talk a little bit more on how the rest of the closing is going to look like. So, what protections are available to them? How would they like to move forward with insurance coverage on the boat? How are we going to transfer ownership of the vessel? When the closing is going to take place? What to bring to closing?
A lot.
And you know, there's a lot, and then there's hopefully, you know, we get to delivery date. But it's I also like to take the time to share with the business manager that once the closing takes place and it's done, their job is not done. You know, there are still a lot of items that they need to do to make sure that, again, the deal is sealed, which means does the lender have everything that they need to close the transaction on their end? And does your administrative or accounting department have what they need to make sure that the record of the sale is recorded accordingly in their program?
Hmm,
Then there's follow up. You know, in the boating industry, it's all about relationship building, and when you meet a customer, they most likely are going to become a friend for life. So again, it doesn't just end after you know you've actually said sign here. There's a lot that goes into it, and I just enjoy the whole process as a whole.
love it. Yeah, that's the best perspective to have, right? It's not just closing the sale and then, nice to meet you.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so, could you share some success story or like a before and after with a customer, something that happened that made you feel fulfilled from the work that you did together?
Yeah, I think one scenario that stands out to me till this day. It is on a customer that purchased multiple boats from the company that I was working for. When they purchased their first vessel, they were interested in financing the vessel, but it wasn't the right time for them to select that as their payment method. They were coming from another country. They were new to the United States. They needed to take steps to properly build their credit. And they gave me the opportunity to have that conversation with them. I was able to share with them what it is that these recreational lenders are going to look for, and that I would love the opportunity to help them finance their next boat. And I just took the time to really share with them what they should be doing to help them get there. A year went by, and they were looking at several boats. They were looking at boats outside of the company that I was working for. And they came back to me and they said, "Steph, we remember everything you told us and we did it. Here is our financials, here's our social. We got this credit card, we purchased a car, etc." Well, thank God they ended up purchasing a boat from the company that I was working for, and we were able to help them finance a portion of that vessel. And it wasn't an easy transaction. There was limited credit. There was the vessel was being purchased under an entity name, and it was just a little bit of a challenging transaction. But it was a huge win for me. But the story doesn't end there. Another year went by, and they ended up buying another boat, a very, very big boat. And Steph, we're ready to do it again. And they were getting a little bit, we had to go through certain hoops to get the financing done. And, the customers were getting a little bit impatient. They did have a deadline. They wanted to navigate out of the country at a specific time, and they knew what they wanted and they were getting what they wanted one way or another. Sometimes the financing process isn't as quickly it's sometimes we have to slow down the process to make sure everything goes right. So they ended up, their broker actually tied them with another F&I broker, and they were able to secure financing before I was able to. And actually, they were able to get more favorable terms. But I asked them to please give me another day, and I finally got something for them. And the terms were actually, that they were overall, when you looked at the entire transaction, the terms that we were able to secure for them were more aggressive. But I believe the rate was a little lower with the other broker. But again, because of the relationship that we built, they said, "Okay, Steph, we're gonna move forward with you." These are people that are still very dear to me. It's been years since they bought their last boat. They've become family. They were even invited to my recent wedding, and I just love that they trusted me, and that even though our paths have changed, we're living in different areas, we still remain friends. So that is definitely one boat transaction that lives with me forever, and I think will always will be. And I'm also happy to call those customers now my friends.
That's so cool. Yeah, the power of relationships, long-term
Yeah.
relationships, right? What are
Yes.
some ways that how can dealerships do that for themselves and make sure that clients choose them instead of going to other dealers?
I feel I'm learning a lot. I'm still learning a lot, and I'm learning from different perspectives. I'm learning from every single boat sale that I assist with is different, no matter how many you have under your belt. Um, and I feel like one of the most common mistakes that companies or brokers or individuals are doing right now is that they're not truly listening to their customers. They're really not. Again, maybe we are a little too scripted or robotic or numb because we sell so many boats and it's just another boat sale. And I think that it's an easy fix. Just listen to your customers and make sure that you're doing it genuinely as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's simple, but so powerful, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
And then
exactly.
if you had to start over, what would be three things that you would focus on in the boating industry specifically?
You know, EH2O is in its infant stages. It's still a baby. It's always going to be my baby, but it's still it's still a baby. Um, I cannot think of three things that I would do differently. What I will tell you is that I wish that I would have started sooner.
Hmm.
That is definitely one thing. And how would I do it again? I would probably just do it exactly how it happened because uh, it was out of my control. It's in God's hands, and I think that my faith in God, I let that lead my path, and things happened naturally. Things happened the way that they're supposed to happen, and I'm just happy how wonderful it's been. But the only thing that I would change is that I would have started sooner.
Love it. Yeah, that's very similar to the answer that I would give if I were asked.
I love it. I love it.
And so, what types of marketing do you use for your business? And then also, what types of marketing do you think work best in the boating industry?
Yeah, so for my business marketing, I focus on maintaining a very strong online presence. So I do have a website. I do have an active Google for Business account. And I'm also on all social media platforms. I am on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok.
Everywhere.
I feel like the marketing strategy that has provided me with the best results has been me posting videos, short clips, long clips, just videos. I think being on video, it really gives an opportunity for your audience to see who you truly are and what you have to offer. And there are times where a video may just get one like, or one comment. And I've learned that that still has a huge significant impact. Like, it's not always about the likes or the one comment. Once you really review the insights and how many people are truly interacting with that post, which mainly they're interacting with those short video clips that I post. um, there's a lot of people watching. like
Yeah.
um, and most of these clips, I feel like it's always important to not always try to be perfect. Maybe there's lighting issues, maybe you can't, there's microphone issues, maybe your makeup is not perfect. But I think that it's those raw, authentic clips that seem to be appreciated the most. Um, so I think that those are the marketing efforts that are driving my business forward.
Love it. Yeah, natural, just spontaneous is always good. Um,
Exactly. Exactly.
and what is your vision for EH2O in the future? How do you see it growing, and what impact do you see it having on in the industry?
Yeah, I think that, it's excited to always think of the future. I am a planner. I've always been a planner. I can't live without my planner. And I'm just very thankful for everything that we've achieved in such a short amount of time. One thing that I've been very honored to be a part of, and I see it happening more and more, is just the opportunity of being able to partner with top names in the industry. I think that excites me for what the future holds. And I think that what's also more exciting is that I do own my own business, and it allows me to shape it however I see most fit. And sometimes you may have an idea, but we need to pivot. So we just have to make sure that even though we have a plan and there's future enhancements or wishes, my goal is always to empower dealers. And what I think that's going to look like today may look differently in the near future. But I know that no matter what that looks like, there's always going to be growth and success, not only for EH2O, but for that dealer that I get to partner with.
Got it. And so you mentioned also that you work with banks and brokers. What
Yes.
is your ideal customer?
You know, I'm happy to help anyone that is open to my assistance. Those that are receptive to it, those that are open to it. And you don't have to look like me, be like me, do things exactly like me. You just want to be able to do it the best way, to the best of your abilities. I always tell everyone that I work with, here is what I know. Let me share with you what I've experienced and how I would go about it, and then sprinkle a little bit of you on top. And
Mm,
I think that um, that's why I don't just service dealerships. That's why I am open to assisting the private sale buyer and seller. I am open to helping that broker. I am open to helping the titling clerk that may need assistance. Or, you asked me earlier, what are the biggest challenges? And we talked a little bit about, dealers, hey, let's just make sure that we continue to prioritize our customers and really listen to what their specific needs are. But another big challenge that we are facing specifically in the closing operations of the business has been just the fluctuating economy, how to navigate it, and the
mm,
changing of
yeah,
rates. And I think that, this challenge also presents a valuable opportunity for dealers to think of long-term success. It's not about how can we get this quick win? What is it going to matter to us to what does this translate for our dealership today? It's making sure that we are positioning ourselves, our dealerships, in a strong position so that we are successful for years to come. Because the more strong dealers we have in the industry, the stronger our industry becomes as well.
yeah, love it. So you're like the cherry on top. It's kind of how I'm seeing it. You're getting people on the water, people that
Mhm.
already chose their ideal boat, hopefully, and they're decided. And now
Mhm.
you help them get on the water, get their boat, and be happy long term.
Yeah, that is correct. And I also would like to say, I mean, I've never been in sales. I've never been a sales professional. I have sold a few boats in my past life, but just this year alone, I can probably think of a handful of dealerships that I've helped actually assist the customer in selecting that ideal boat for them. And it was because of a language barrier. I speak Spanish. So
Mm.
the sales professional would call me and I would help them um, translate for the customer, but also, again, just offer that customer service, being myself, and really listening to what it is that they're looking for, and then helping them select the boat. So sometimes I step out of the business manager chair and assist any way possible in the dealership. And you say, yes, I'm the cherry on top, but sometimes, I kind of have to uh, say things that people don't want to hear or you know but so maybe not always the cherry on top, but it always comes from a good place.
Yeah,
It always comes from what we should do to share the best experience for the customer.
yeah, yeah. Even though sometimes it's not as good to hear or welcoming. It's definitely for long term
Yes.
happiness and making everything work as it should.
Yes, that is
Um,
my goal always.
and so I know this is not your area of focus, but I wanted to know if we could talk a little bit about what are the different types of boating customers that you've seen, the different types of target markets.
Oh, yes, there's a lot of different types of boating out there. you know, there's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration when a customer comes to us. It's not just about, before you help them select that boat, we need to maybe think about what area they're going to be doing their boating, what type of waters, um, and are they trying to just navigate, maybe cruise around? Are they wanting to visit local sandbars? Are they looking to take longer trips, maybe, from Florida to the Bahamas? Do they like to fish? Do they have children? What type of vessel is most safe for the children, depending on their age? Or maybe their kids are off to college. What type of boating does the couple want to do now? Maybe it's a single lady. She wants to just take all her girlfriends out on the boat, or same with the guys. There's a lot of different types of boating. There's sailing. I recently went through sea school, and I recently earned my captain's license, and I learned a lot about the different types. I mean, obviously, being in retail sales, being in different dealerships in the industry, you learn a lot about the types of boatings based on the types of vessels that you offer. But C School really shared with me a lot of other types of boating, and not just, in the intercoastal, also a lot of about international waters as well.
Hmm.
So I hope that gives you a little bit of an overview of all the
Yeah,
types of things that customers may be looking for.
yeah. But I'm understanding that it's very very unique, right? It's like every person has their own needs and desires, and then we have to tailor the boat and the experience to that, right?
Yeah, and there's so many different types of boats. There's so many different types of fishing boats. And a
Yeah,
customer may feel that, there is a specific boat brand or boat size that is going to fulfill their wants on the water. But the sales professional who is an expert is maybe then has to tell them, no, this is the boat that's going to be most suitable for you and your family.
yeah,
So it's about keeping an open mind, doing your research. And it's also very important to have the opportunity to maybe get on the vessel and really learn about it before you make your final decision, because it is a large purchase. It is an important purchase. And you just want to make sure that it's going to make you as happy as you want it to.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for that perspective,
Yeah, for
Stephanie.
sure. I,
Um,
I will say to you, I thought I was a crew. I thought the type of boating that I enjoyed most was on a yacht, or, cruising, visiting sandbars. And now I love to get on that fishing boat. I love to go offshore, and I'm just hungry to catch that fish. It's ignited something in me that, I enjoy so much. Yes, I still love to just cruise around. We went boating this past Sunday, and all we did was go to a local sandbar and hang out with my nephew and my husband. But I like when it's like, oh my gosh, boating day, let's go fishing. And I feel like I would have never become that person if did not become open to other types of boating or boat brands per se.
that's so
So
cool. Yeah, I've never been a fisher, but I should try it definitely.
oh yeah. We'll be happy to take you on the boat. Let us know, because I'm
Thank
telling you, it requires a lot of patience, but it's so much fun. It's so
yeah,
much fun. One of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite boating activities is to go scalloping. Have you been scalloping, or have you heard of what that is? Oh, I love it. It's there's a scalloping season here in Florida, And it's also near the Florida Springs. So after you're out on the salt
Mhm.
water all day, you get to enjoy the 72-degree water and just hang out. But scalloping is basically, just diving in and catching a specific scallop, and you can be as low as 5 foot waters, 10 foot waters. And what I love about it so much is that it's an activity for the entire family. So young kids can do it, adults can do it, and you catch them all, and then you can cook them all, make different dishes, ceviche, pasta, whatever you like. It's just a
Amazing.
very, very enjoyable activity. We'll have to
Yeah.
talk about that more. We have to get you
Yeah.
on scouts.
I need to catch up for sure.
We'll help you. I'm happy to help you.
Thank you, Stefan. And so, what are some lessons that come to mind from your experience in the industry, and if there's any story that is attached to the lessons, I'd love to hear it too.
Yeah, I think that I've learned a lot and I'm still learning. I'm humble enough to know that, you can't, if you're the same, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong place.
Hmm.
I think that one of the things that I had to learn was that it was okay to be myself. It's okay to present what you have to offer by being yourself. And that was something that, when you are in corporate America, you're shaped to be a specific way for so long. And,
Hmm.
you learn from different leaders, you learn from different styles of leadership. It's okay to make it your own, not on your own. Obviously, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have the experiences that I did. But it is okay to see things differently. There were times where I saw myself in a room or in a meeting and didn't fully agree with what everyone agreed with, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. So I think it's about being comfortable that way. It's okay to speak your mind as well. And I also feel like it is very important to surround yourself with the people that genuinely want to help you grow and appreciate who you are, and that maybe you don't always see eye to eye, but I also feel like you shouldn't always have to have a filter to be accepted into said place. So I'm just, and also it's very, in sales, it's very easy to look to the side. It's very easy to see
Hmm.
what that company is doing now, or what's the latest and greatest news, or what deal did that coworker get, or et cetera. And I learned that maintaining tunnel vision and not worrying about others is very crucial. Of course, we want to still be involved. We want to still be in the know with what's happening in the industry, but just don't be distracted by what other people are doing.
Yeah,
And just focus on being confident, sharing my knowledge my way. I've been blessed with it. I want to share it, and I'm here to offer it to those that are eager to learn.
that's great. Yeah, I got networking with good people, being around good people that accept you as you are, then being who you are, right? I think that's the only way we can be. If we try to be someone else and try to be cool or something, it's not going to be cool.
No, no,
So we
no.
got to be ourselves, and then speaking up, you mentioned also, and then not comparing ourselves with others and focusing
Mhm.
on our goals and our work. Is there anything else, any other idea that comes to mind?
Yeah, just always work hard. Work very hard for what you want, and have self-belief, believe in yourself. It all starts with you. And don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself with the noise that may be happening around
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. It is happening all the time.
Exactly.
Love it.
It is.
And so, last question:
Yeah.
how do you see the boating industry changing in the future? What challenges and opportunities do you see happening right now?
Hmm. I mean, I would have to say, I would have to revert back to the fluctuating economy. I do feel like the changing rates are huge right now. It's a big challenge, and an opportunity is just for dealers to properly do the research that they should do, partner with those experts that are going to help them, and specialize in specific things, like, let's say, budgets or numbers. What does our long-term success look like? I also think that a lot of dealerships sometimes get blinded by what the big guys are doing. We have a lot of great leaders in the industry, and they do a lot of things right. They like to make splashes in the industry, which is great. They work hard to be where they are today. But you don't always have to be with the biggest and greatest to be the biggest and greatest for your customer. So if
So
you
powerful.
yeah. If you are a boat dealership who has been in business for 50 years, and you are better continuing to be that kind of offering that mom and pop kind of service, then let it be. There's no reason to change what's not broken. And again, it just goes back to just being yourself. I think customers, there's a lot of customers that is what they want, that is what they're calling for, and we cannot forget that. So it's about continuing to offer the best service for your customer. And in the boating industry, when you have a customer, when you create a relationship, just like the example I shared earlier, it's going to be a friendship for a very long time. So that customer, as long as they are happy with you and you offer them good customer service, they're going to continue to come back to you. And we just have to continue to remember that. So, in summary, just pivot when we need to, partner with those experts that are going to help us make sure that we keep the lights on for years to come, not get blinded by, the quick win, the quick sale, and always be our authentic self. And yes, be involved in the industry, learn from the leaders in the industry, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't still make it what you already are. Enhance what you already have to offer, and continue making it your own to be successful.
Yeah, love it. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. You're a very caring and positive and good person and super expert at what you do. So I know that EH2O is going to be super successful.
Thank
Thank you so much for all the insights, all the ideas. Really, really, really good information. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be a part of this chat. It's been great conversating with you and just sharing my story, and I hope that it inspires others. And I'm happy to continue a conversation, for anyone that would like to learn a little bit more. Thank you.
That's one thing that I should ask. Where should people go find you,
Oh
and
yeah.
how can they contact you?
Yeah. So my website is EH2O So H2O, like the water. My first name is Estephanie. It's a play on words. Estephanie Herrera, EH2O You can also find me under EH2O Marine Business Solutions on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect with you on my personal LinkedIn profile. And you can also find me on social media on Instagram as the boat closer as well. I'm pretty active on there, and that's where I share a lot of the tips and clips that I spoke about at the beginning of this call as well.
Perfect. And we'll add all of that in the description. So thank you
Beautiful.
so much, Stephanie. Hope you have a great
Thank
day.
you. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.